Hey folks, this is Mark again with Apple Creek Outdoors, and today we're out in the potato patch and going to give you an update on the potatoes, part 2 essentially of the potato videos, and just showing you what we're doing today. Now if you take a look in the potato patch here, actually a couple weeks ago I did a very light cultivation with my Haas wheel hoe, just enough to break up a little bit of the dirt, and you can see I made a little bit of a mound here around the potatoes. That was their first ridging, and the purpose of that is just to get a little bit of dirt around those stems and to also to smother the little weeds that are beginning to grow. And I like to do this about 2 or 3 times at least during the potato growing season, and that's what we're doing today, is we're giving them their second ridging. So you can see here we've already completed a ridge. I cultivate one side, and then I go ahead and pull the dirt up onto the potato plants, and just make sure that potato plant does not get completely smothered, and you'll be all right. Now, when I'm in the garden, everything has a purpose. The order that I do things, every little thing has a purpose to make it more efficient. And one thing that may go without saying for you, but may not be as obvious to other folks, is that whenever I'm working in the potatoes, I don't want to be stepping on the soil that I've just tilled. So what I'll do is I'll till a strip, and then I'll walk on the side that hasn't been tilled, and that's where I'll be raking up on the potatoes. Now, when I do the other side, once I till this side and rake up, it's no big deal that I'm compacting this soil, because I won't need to work this soil anyway. So once again, everything has a purpose. And the other thing that we're going to do today, we're going to be giving the potatoes their second shot of triple 13 fertilizer. I like to fertilize my potatoes twice, once when I put them in the ground, and then another time when they're about at this stage. And I use roughly about this much for the roughly 80-foot row that I have here. So, and once again, everything's done with a purpose. When I fertilize, I'll put this fertilizer on the uphill side of the potatoes. That way any leaching will take that fertilizer right into the plant. Okay, here's a little bit of a close-up of what's going on here in the potato row. Now, I said we like to get those weeds before they get too tall. And as I pan down here closer, you can see quite a few weeds, very small here, starting to grow throughout the potato row. Now, if I cover those up with soil, those will get smothered out and they'll die. And so I'll go ahead and do my cultivation in the middle and pull the dirt right over the top of that. Okay, just a few more things I wanted to mention here. As you can see, Jedediah is pointing out some fertilizer up on the leaf there, Jedediah.
Up here?
See that fertilizer on the leaf? Right about there. Yeah, okay, that fertilizer right there, you want to be careful with that. If you apply the fertilizer when the leaves are wet, the nitrogen compounds in that fertilizer can cause some minor leaf burning to the plant. Some other considerations too. Another reason that I like hoeing in that fertilizer is because it prevents you from losing the more volatile nitrogen compounds to the atmosphere, and they'll get reined in a little bit better. And also, when you hoe them after you apply the fertilizer, you can see that the fertilizer that is on the plants does get knocked off if the plants are dry. So once again, a reason for doing everything in a certain way. Oh, now I remember those other considerations that I wanted to mention. As I'm tilling, I make sure that my tiller is in cultivate mode. And in that case, the tines are rotating forward, and I'm only going down to about 1 to 2 inches. There's really no need to till any deeper than that once your plants are established, because all you're going to do then is cause the ground to dry out a little bit quicker, and also you're going to bring more weed seeds to the top. And I think we'd all agree that we don't want any more weed seeds coming to the surface and sprouting than we have to have. So minimal tillage is the best way to do things. Here we can see that all the help showed up after we were done, but that's all right. You can see the potatoes, they're all ridged. Just one more item on the agenda, and that's to take the tiller down the center where that soil is packed, because that firmed area right there will present an ideal place for the weeds to begin to germinate. So we want to stir that up just a little bit, get a little air to that, and hopefully reduce the germination rate a little bit. Well, here we have the end product, cultivated, no footprints left, ready to go for about another 2 weeks, when we'll rake it lightly and knock all that new growth that's coming up, kill all the grass and all the little weeds that are trying to sprout, and that should be about the last time we'll have to mess with it for the year. Now you can see right here, one of the plants that was growing out of line got tilled up in the process, and you can see it already had 4 little potatoes growing on it. And we'll take those in and mix them in with a can of green beans and have some new potatoes. Okay, here we are in the potato patch again. We're about a week and a half after the last ridging that was on the first part of the video. And we had a good rain, and as you can see here, the grass is making a comeback. So we want to go ahead and knock that out with a little bit of hoeing. And really all we do here to work on this, on the ridge right now, is that I just take my garden rake, just breaking up that top layer, and I'll work my way down the row. And you can use like a 4-pronged hoe or whatever works for you, but I just like using the garden rake. And then once that soil is broken up and those roots have been disturbed on those grasses, I will pull, and you can see there why it's pulling some soil back up onto the ridge. And that will smother the few little pieces of grass that are growing that don't get uprooted. And anyway, hopefully this will be the last time we have to do this, and here in about a month we'll be digging some fairly weed-free potatoes.